What does 4-0 mean to Meryl Reese?
It means you have 13 games left.
Okay? You pay a guy $42 million and you're talking about quarterback issues in Dallas? This plays right in to the Eagles the next 2 weeks. Let the Cowboys fall all over themselves. Well, Cooper Rush or Dak. Perfect. If I'm in the Eagles locker room, I'm watching this going, this is a great show to watch. And I just keep quiet. Let them self-implode, which they always do anyway. Eagles have dominated the NFC East since 2000. You know why? They keep their faces shut and let Dallas fall all over themselves. Let's get to our friend Meryl Reese. 4-0. Boy, I'll tell you something, Meryl. Everybody is excited, and I want to hear it from you. What does 4-0 mean to you with this Eagle team getting out to a start? What does 4-0 mean to Meryl Reese?
It means you have 13 games left.
How come this fan base is looking at this more than what it is? Is it and again, I don't really shoot that down because I like people being excited about things. And you should have great passion, right, Meryl?
It's great, but you asked me what it means. You know, they're playing Arizona this week. Do you realize last year Arizona was 7-0 and then lost 6 of its next 10? So that's why I'm saying I love what Nick Sirianni says. Nick Sirianni says this is a heavyweight championship fight, and there are 15 rounds or 17 rounds. All right, they've won the first 4 rounds, but there are 13 left. Let's not get carried away. All you have to do is slip up and take a bad loss and lose this guy and lose that guy, and it can turn around in a second. You have to say they're doing great things. They're much improved. They're a solid team. Jalen Hurts has elevated his game. Right now, they lead the NFL in turnover differential, which is a big stat, +8. But then there are 13 more of these things left.
I get that as well as anybody here. Meryl, do you have a little bit of concern that, you know, you want to be peaking in January and December? And I don't think they've played their best ball yet. I don't think they've played a 4-quarter game yet. But do you get a little bit concerned that, you know, you want to be peaking later, not now?
You want to be playing as well as you possibly can each week. I mean, if you could put them in order, maybe you'd say you want to win December and January. But the fact of the matter is, a win in September counts the same as a win in January or December. And I just like the way they're taking care of business. I like the way that they were in a 14-point hole last week and not one person panicked. And they scored 29 unanswered points. That's what I like. I like to see that. I don't worry about December or January. Right now, if I'm the Eagles, I'm concerned about one thing, and that is Sunday in the Valley of the Sun.
Are you a little bit also concerned about some of the injuries that you're starting to see and piling up? And I'll tell you something, Meryl, having the depth that I said that they have, I don't know, Meryl, if they're the best roster in the NFL, but I've told you this before. I do think they're the deepest. And this is where you need to win that war of attrition when you sustain some of these injuries.
Right. I mean, Jordan Mailata, who is a tremendous left tackle, went out, and Jack Driscoll came in and did a really good job. And then the left guard, Isaac Seumalo, went out, and Sua Apeta came in and played well. So, yeah, they're able to replace people, but that only goes so long. Hopefully, some of these people are back this week. Nick will only say that he's not ruling anybody out. But, I mean, it's iffy. I don't know how badly hurt Jake Elliott is, and he's among the best kickers in the National Football League. And he was waffled last week and seemed to be limping around. Now, I hope he's back, but I don't have any inside information. They always talk about keeping these things to themselves, giving out as much as they have to give out for competitive advantage.
Meryl, is this what would you take as a start covering this team for over 50 years? The 2004 start when they were 4-0 also, the 17 start, or this 2022? Is this the best start to a season that you have seen since you've been covering the team?
Well, I think it's tough to say that that 4-0 is the best start from a record standpoint. I mean, they've been very, very good. That's all I can say. To go back and compare them to 2004, I don't know. 2008, they did some good things. 2000, the year they won the Super Bowl, that team didn't really. What were they? 2-4, I think.
Yeah.
Or Jake Elliott kicked the field goal to beat the Giants, the 61-yarder. And
you guys went on a 9-game run, right? You guys went on a 9-game run or something after that.
So as far as starts are concerned, this was, I mean, you can't be better than after 4 games than 4-0. So it's good, but comparing them is very tough.
Jalen's play, what's been the most impressive thing that you've seen with him in these 4 games? We're now, this is the first quarter poll of the season. You know, you and I look at trends, and you look at 4 games. That's usually how you look at trends when you're game planning for your football team or who they are, maybe an identity. What's been the thing that stood out the most with Jalen over these 4 games?
His decision-making. The fact that he reads the field so well. He's authoritative. He's been accurate. But if I had to say one thing, you could see the difference between last year and this year in his decision-making, the way that he has learned the game, the feeling that he has out there of being in complete control. He's got great poise. He's a great leadership. But the biggest difference between year 2 and year 3, and it's really a second full year of starting, is the ability to make the right decision and make it quickly.
Do you agree that this could be one of those trap games, especially when you've got a potential game of the year on a Sunday night the following week? Or do you think there's enough leadership, Merrill, in that locker room that they won't allow this, to where they know this, like you said, the only game up right now is 4 quarters against the Cardinals?
Right. No, I don't believe in trap games. I don't see this team falling into that trap. Nick won't. He absolutely won't let them. I mean, he's on top of that, and he says, "Let's go 1-0." That's what Doug used to do. Let's go 1-0, and that's all they're thinking about. They're not concerned about Dallas right now. They're concerned about just Arizona. Beat Arizona.
A couple last questions for you here, Meryl. Meryl, what'd you make of the reception that Doug got on Sunday at Lincoln Financial? I mean, a lot of people roll into that building when they've played for the Birds, and I wouldn't think you'd get something like that. I thought it was moving.
It was, and it was well-deserved. I mean, here's the guy who brought home the 1 Lombardi trophy, and nobody here has ever forgotten that. And aside from all of that, Dan, he's one of the most likable people on the face of the earth. I mean, he's not arrogant. He's not miserable to the media. He's warm. He's friendly. He's authoritative, but he's just a good person. And I think the fan base recognizes that.
What I loved also too, Meryl, was that Sirianni embraced it because he knew what he meant to the city. And I also love the fact that when you saw Kelsey getting the jacket, you know, Lane going over and hugging him, the relationship with Hurts and all that, and his former players, you know, they went out there and they played their ass off. They wanted to play great in front of him too, I would have imagined, to go out there, because this is what we do. You know, you have your fans, you play against your former coaches and such. But I thought that was really great in how Nick and his coaching staff, and Meryl, you know this, other coaching staffs could feel a little bit bent on that, and they could be standoffish on something like that. But it was great that the organization embraced it.
Yeah, I think it was too. Nobody's petty about that thing. Everybody loved Doug. I mean, Doug's a great guy, and it wouldn't surprise me if Doug becomes the coach of the year with what he's doing with Jacksonville. But he's just a good person. Nick's a good person too. I mean, this team is fortunate, and they have 2 very good coaches back to back, and both of them are real people. They're great in the building. I mean, they stop and talk to everybody as they walk down the halls. Once before, prior to Doug, there was a coach that you could say hello to, and you were lucky if he even looked in your direction. But I'm not naming names.
Finally here, you got a football team that's going to be taking on a team like in Kyler Murray here, and then you got to look at the defense, and the defense has really played well for the last 3 weeks. We'll say, getting out of the gate, people kind of questioned what they were doing against Detroit a little bit, but it's going to be the biggest test for them, right? To try to get this guy, because chasing him around is like chasing a chicken around in Kyler Murray. This will be the biggest test, right, for them when they take on Murray Sunday?
I would think so. Although, and I don't mean to stir anything up by any stretch of the imagination, I think Kyler Murray is a great talent. And you've got to be sure that you keep him behind the line of scrimmage or he can burn you. But right now, he's not playing the best football that he's played, which worries you because you know that 1 week he's going to come out and beat Kyler Murray at his very best. He's dangerous. He's got arm talent. He's got athleticism. So it's going to be a tough game. And I think going into the game itself, early in the season, there was a feeling that probably the best team they'd be facing before they got to Dallas would be Minnesota on that Monday night. And Kirk Cousins, and the fact that it was again dealing with the great wide receiver and Justin Jefferson, but they came through that test with flying colors. But since then, I think at least on paper, this is the most dangerous test.
Yeah, and that Viking team is 3-1 too, Meryl. So I mean, that was a pretty good benchmark game for them, having won that. Hey,
and they won it.
Yeah, no, they're playing. They're winning ball games too. When you see Zach Ertz on Sunday, what's your thoughts and his importance on what he meant to this organization when he played? I mean, he loves Philadelphia. Still wears the armband when he plays. He just loves the city. What your impressions of him and your relationship with him a little bit?
Well, I had a good relationship with Zach. He's a quality person. He's an all-pro performer. I can't say enough good things about Zach Ertz. But I don't think he was real happy about the way things ended here. Usually endings, when you move on, are not, great, happy, celebratory moments. So I don't think he was happy about the way it ended. However, he's got a lot of pride, and he's still a great player as we speak right now. He's got 22 receptions, couple of touchdowns. He runs great patterns, has great hands, and he would like nothing more than to beat this team.
I leave you with this. I've never seen a divorce end well. So, I mean, I think, and I'll leave it at that because we're watching something play out in public now, and nothing ends well, especially when we're talking pro football. Meryl, thank you so much. You're so kind with your time. It's a respect I have for you. You won't know. I mean, it's such an honor to have you on. Thank you so much, my friend.
My pleasure, Dan. Have a great day.
You got it. The legendary voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, our good friend Meryl Reese there. Thank you so much for doing that. So I asked Meryl the question. I must have missed it. What's 4-0 mean? Nothing. Yeah. How come when Meryl says, oh, well, okay, I think I answered my own question. Did I not? Right? So wait, Meryl said it. What's wrong with you guys? Meryl Reese said it. We got a bunch of games left here. But yeah, you guys are I don't know, man. I don't know. We got the 2022 Cardinals standings. I've got my power rankings. My top 5 NFL teams. I think we'll do the top 5 NFL teams. Xander goes, Merrill can say the sky is green. He's good in Philly. Yeah. Oh, I see. If I say it, okay. Hurts hasn't beaten a real team. I don't know, man. Minnesota's 3-1. Minnesota's got a 3-1 record, dude. And they beat a 3-1 Packer team. Come on now. It's not fair. One thing we are here is fair. Okay? They have. Oh, yes, the signing of Odell Beckham. Holy cow, where's that guy's name, the agent? Where is that guy's name? Zeke Sandow. Great. Way to go, JM. We will do that. I'll hit on Odell Beckham, potentially coming to Philly. How about that? Hey, by the way, don't forget our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free, meaning this. If you're hurt or injured on the job, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Okay? This is who Morgan & Morgan is, man. Going to protect you and your family to the best of their ability. And for the people is not a slogan. It is completely who they are. Okay? With over 800 attorneys and offices in Philly, New York, and in Florida, the biggest law firm looks at cases like this. Hey, I don't care if it's a fender bender or I don't care if it's the biggest case on the planet. They're going to represent you to the best of their ability. And they don't lose cases. Call them 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. Call us free. The consultation's free. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, you tell them Big Sil sent you.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.